Okay, so welcome to the BGL Digital Graduate Programme Q&A session. Today we're going to give you an insight into our digital programme. I'm joined by a number of my colleagues who are here to share their experiences of the digital programme, giving you an overview of the scheme, but more importantly, their journey so far. So on the panel today is Sarah Greedy, who is our Talent Development Manager, who manages the graduate programmes. I'm also joined by a number of graduates of different stages of their programme. Fran, who joined us in 2020, Omar, Rosie, Tom and Luke, who joined us in 2019 and are currently in their second year of the programme, and then Sarah and Meg, who have recently completed the digital graduate programme last year. So, Sarah Greedy, I'd like to start with yourself if that's okay. So, would you mind giving us a bit of an overview of the digital programme here at BGL?
So the Digital Graduate Programme is one of our newer graduate programmes at BGL. It was established back in 2018. So Megan and Sarah, who are on the call, were our very first group to go through the programme. The programme was set up really for us to build a source of future talent within our digital teams. And our digital graduate programme is actually a really broad programme and has a slightly different definition to potentially digital programmes that you're seeing at other companies. The 2-year programme is aimed to give graduates a really broad experience across the different digital disciplines at BGL and also across some of our digital brands and businesses. So rotations like product, search engine optimization or SEO, customer experience and design, which some of the grads are going to go through in a moment. But we aim to give grads a really broad experience across those disciplines. So that's how I would summarise it in a nutshell.
Okay, great, thank you. So it sounds like this is quite a unique programme and with a variety of different rotations, which we'll explore further. So if I could ask Tom and Fran to go into a little bit more detail about the product rotation, starting with you, Fran.
Thanks, Sarah. So I currently work in Compare the Market in product. So for me, my days consist of quite a few meetings, but they're with a broad range of people, which is great as it makes every day different. And it's a bit of a cliche, I know, but it is true. And I also get to work with and understand many different business areas, whether that be legal and compliance, brand, or even the tech teams working on software development. But one thing that is really great about that is that everyone is very approachable. So there's always someone you can go to with a question, which is particularly important in product because of the breadth of stakeholders that you interact with. And it's massively helped me so far to actually get to know every different element of the business that helps me do my job better.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you, Fran. Tom, is there anything you'd like to add about the product team?
Yeah, so Fran summed it up brilliantly there, really. For me, when I was in product, working in Compare the Market as well, in motor, I actually worked across a number of different products as well as third-party companies as well, who run some of our products for us. So the ability to work with numerous different stakeholders and numerous different teams really does expose you to so many different people. And you learn a lot, not just about product itself, but also what the other teams do and how that all feeds into what you do on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And Meg, would you mind giving an overview of the SEO rotation?
Yeah, no problem. So I actually elected for the SEO rotation. It was my final rotation on the scheme. So for the rest of the rotations, I'd gone across CX, UX, product, research, and really wanted some exposure at the start of the customer funnel. So SEO gave me that experience and helped me understand the impact of the changes we make on the landing pages, the website, and how we appear within Google, and what that means for our customers, what that means for the way the website appears, and how visible we are. So SEO was a very different role in comparison to the rest of the ones I did. I had a split between technical and content and campaigns. Absolutely loved it. It was very varied. It was a challenge because I'd never been in a role like that before, but there was some real good exposure that I was able to get into some projects across the group and really work for Compare the Market.
Okay, great. Thank you. Sounds varied and different, and it's great to see, I suppose, the whole journey from start to finish.
Yeah, definitely.
And then moving on to Sarah MacArthur. So could you tell us about your experiences within the UX research teams?
Yeah, of course. So I did a UX research rotation, and that was my third rotation within the scheme, and I'm now actually currently working in UX research. So for me, the rotation was like very diverse, and you're working really with product teams and designers to kind of get that customer understanding and that customer lens on things, and make sure that when we are sort of producing a new product or designs on the website, they are meeting customer needs and have really got the customer lens there, and we're providing the best experience for our customers. So there's a wide range of things I was involved in throughout the rotation, from customer interviews, just general discovery interviews, just finding out maybe a bit more around a certain area of a customer's kind of life, like buying insurance and how they go about that, to looking at more evaluative work with like a prototype and design, and making sure that that design, before we put it live, has everything that the customer needs and there's no kind of like pain points or anything before we go live. So it's quite a diverse kind of area to work in, and I was working across a lot of different products and a lot of different areas, including like the app and different product teams, like I say, across a variety of different like touch points. So yeah, it's a very diverse area. I am with a lot of kind of areas of research that you'll be involved in, so it's really interesting.
Okay, thank you. And then moving on to Rosie. So what did you get up to in your CX and optimization rotation?
Yep, so I'm currently with the optimization team, and we look after web testing, so like A/B testing on the site, because once we've kind of launched a product or something on a journey, you want to keep evolving the site. So we always look at data from across the business, including from UX research studies, and then we can identify where customers are struggling on the site and what needs we're not meeting yet. And then we work together with everybody from design to tech, from product teams, to understand how we can build a solution that responds to that. And then we test that on the site. So we'll see how it compares to what we currently have. And that way we can see which one is the winner. And when we've got a winner, then we'll work together with tech and product to get that delivered onto the site permanently. And then we start all over again with a brand new idea. So it's very varied. There's a bit of kind of research, data analysis. There's also a lot of project management. And similar to product teams, we work with a lot of different stakeholders across the business.
Amazing. These rotations are sounding great. And then finally moving on to Omar and Luke. So starting with you, Omar, could you tell us a little bit about your experiences of UX design?
Yeah, sure. So a kind of a typical day in UX design would be kind of off the back of ideation sessions, you taking those low fidelity designs from the session and actually designing them, bringing them to life on design software, making them interactive via prototypes, and actually then conducting research with customers or potential customers, and then kind of iterating on those designs based on the feedback. And then you kind of go on to actually demo those designs to teams within the business. So these could be product owners to developers, for example. And once you kind of have all the feedback in and the designs are in a good place, you actually send these live via an A/B test on the site. And then based on the feedback from the A/B test, the results of that test, we'll actually roll these out if they're declared a winner, or kind of go back to the drawing board with those designs.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add in, Luke?
So as Omar kind of pointed out, that ideation is also really quite important in terms of the UX design rotation. And as everyone else has already said, there's a lot of collaboration and working with various different people within the business. And the ideation sessions that UX design team hold are no exception to that. the purpose of them is to kind of get involved and really hash out these ideas that we may have, and nothing is off the table. It's the whole purpose is to bring as many people together as possible and get as many ideas together to hopefully come up with some really interesting and new creative ways of working. And then those people that could attend that, product owners, marketing, optimization, finance, risk and compliance, literally anyone's idea could be the next big thing to go on the one of our sites. So yeah, it's super important. And then obviously, as Omar said, we then can take that into the design and make it a reality, which is really good.
Okay, brilliant. So the rotations sound like they give you a great foundation to a start in your digital career. Fran, I know you've only been with us for a few months, but could you tell us a little bit about any of the projects that you've been involved in?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, like I said, I only started in November, so I'm still in my first rotation, but the project that I'm working on now is very unique. So we're launching a new product that will be present across both app and web platforms, which is really exciting because I've been able to see everything that goes on in the background and how we need to draw upon almost every business area to actually piece it together. And I've been able to work with an international team, a third-party agency, and a third-party partner as well. So it's allowed me to really dive into the detail of things like approving screens for the app, but also be aware of the actual high-level strategic decisions and impacts of this project on the company as a whole. So yeah, it's been really interesting so far.
So you're getting involved in a huge amount, and you've only been here a few months, which must be great.
Yeah, I definitely got thrown in at the deep end, but I think I'm swimming so far. So yeah, that's good.
Fabulous. Okay. And then just going back to yourself, Luke. So how would you sort of describe the culture here at BGL?
Yeah, I mean, the culture at BGL is it's incredibly inclusive. Everyone's made to feel pretty much very welcome from day one. You've got a real mix of people, whether they've brand new to the business, having worked at lots of companies before, having worked at no companies before and it's their first job, right through to people that have been in the business for a long time that have maybe come through for an apprenticeship program. So you get a really diverse kind of group of people, which makes it a very interesting place to work. Obviously, in current times, we're not in the office, but when we were in the office, it's a really relaxed place to be. You've got a dress for your day policy, so you don't necessarily feel uncomfortable having to feel very corporate in the clothes you wear, and that's obviously really great. And facilities wise as well, we've got canteens, cafes, there's a gym. Yeah, just everything that kind of makes it feel a lot less corporate and a lot more relaxed, which really helps sort of with the work that we're doing on a day-to-day basis. And then you may have already seen, as if you've been on the website, that BGL has the 4 key values in place as well, which obviously beneficial to the business, but also beneficial to kind of work for BGL, which are ambitious, authentic, creative, and united. And you really do see those kind of coming into play with sort of like the work that we do on a day-to-day basis. There's a lot of time put into us as people, and whether you work for Compare the Market, IDO, or Group, everyone is made to feel like they belong to one company. You have team days. It's time to kind of like reflect, learn, and really kind of connect with the people that we work with on maybe a slightly deeper level than just colleagues. And then there are also sort of events again in a pre-COVID world, such as the awards ball, summer festival, dragon boat race, just loads of different events that are just all there in place to kind of really recognize and reward sort of the work that you do and really make you feel valued to work for BGL.
Thank you so much for that, Luke. That was a great sort of overview. So you touched briefly around sort of the support side of things. So Omar, could you give us a bit of an overview of the support you've received whilst on the programme?
Yeah, sure. So support can kind of come through in the form of a graduate buddy or mentor. So a graduate buddy is someone who's already been on the scheme for a year, and they can kind of give advice on kind of how to approach your graduate career. They've already been in the same position as you already, and possibly have some of the same rotation as well. So they're kind of very much in the same boat as you as a graduate, but just been there a bit longer. So they can kind of really be your kind of support while you're on the program, just to kind of ensure you're progressing as you want and as you should. A graduate mentor, so this is like a senior member of the organization, so it could be a senior manager or an associate director, and they are kind of there to give help and advice on your career, or any kind of piece of work you're working on, and get advice on that, and kind of just give insight into the bigger picture of the organization as well, and they can really help guide your career. I guess it's kind of worth mentioning, it's not a one-size-fits-all with these, so you can kind of talk to them as and when you'd like. That's kind of up to you, whether you kind of regular meetings in or just ad hoc. They can be really informal conversations, or they can be really kind of personal development focused, or just getting advice on a piece of work. But also alongside your kind of mentor and buddy, you'll have your rotation line manager as well. So they'll obviously kind of be talking to you day to day as well. So the support is really good, and you kind of have it from a number of people across the organization, and you're likely to stay in contact with your line manager as well. So your support will only build as you progress throughout the program.
Sounds great. So you're definitely feeling supported, I'm hoping, from that.
Definitely.
And I suppose with all of the changes and moving rotations and and having that person to reach out to, it also helps with the beginning of the journey, but also throughout the program as well.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Now, I understand as part of the program, you'll also have the opportunity to gain a qualification. So starting with you, Sarah Greedy, would you mind giving an overview of the qualification? And then Rosie, would you mind telling us a little bit about your journey of conducting that qualification?
So as we know, the world of digital is constantly changing, and digital customer experience and experience in whole. And as our businesses and programs evolve, so do our graduate programs in turn, and the support and development that we offer to grads on those programs. So currently, as part of the 2-year program, we are supporting our graduates to study for a diploma in digital via the Chartered Institute of Marketing, or CIM. We're actually about to embark on a new curriculum for the CIM. So Fran's group will be the first group to study on this new curriculum, and the CIM tend to change their content every few years to make sure it's fresh and it's up to date. But across the 18 months of the 2-year programme, the graduates will study 3 modules, which will include content like optimization, digital customer experience, and marketing and strategy. It's quite a broad qualification, which gives both digital experience, but also connects quite heavily to related teams like marketing and data and things like that. And then at the end, graduates achieve a CIM level 6 diploma. But Rosie has recently gone through it, so perhaps can share, as you said, Sarah, her experiences of the curriculum.
Yeah, sure. I'm just waiting on my results now, so fingers crossed. But yeah, so we started off, I think it was in the first week that we'd started in BGL, perhaps the second one, with 3 days of teaching before we went into our rotation. And that is one thing to point out, that each time that you have a new module, it's 3 days of teaching, and BGL always schedule that to be in between rotations. So it never clashes with like meetings or anything like that. You can really focus on learning the kind of course material and not have any distractions or anything. During those few days as well, I was with my other digital graduates in the cohort. So we all kind of bounce ideas off one another. It's really interactive lessons. It's not a whole day of someone lecturing you. And I know that really helped me, because we all had worked in different areas with our different rotations. So we came at the lesson from different points of view, and we had really good discussions about ways of approaching the coursework. After those days, you go away, you write your piece of coursework, but your tutor's always on hand. So if you need to reach out by email, they can answer any questions. And I know we all kind of supported each other as well in the group chat that we've got. So it's good to be going through it with other graduates too. And well in advance of when you actually have to submit it, you give your tutor a draft, and they go through the whole piece of coursework and give you feedback on how you can improve it, and let you know whether or not you're in the right direction. So then you've got lots of time beforehand to really polish it up and submit a solid piece of coursework, and then fingers crossed for the results when they arrive. So I think it is a rigorous qualification, but I think that that's why it's good to have, because it is so well recognised across the kind of digital marketing industry. Other companies do it in other countries even. So throughout your career, it kind of stays with you on your CV. And Sarah mentioned it's level 6. That's the sort of manager level. So what it's added for me is that I now know not just the kind of operations side of marketing. I know that from my work, how to actually launch a campaign, how to do it, but I also know the strategy side. So how would I go about planning a new product or developing it? So I know that that's definitely going to help when I get to later on stages of my career, as well as giving me that insight now.
Thank you so much for that, Rosie, and good luck with the pending results. Fingers crossed for you. It's great to see as well that it's giving you that, not only helping you whilst you're currently on your program as well, but it's giving you that opportunity to look at the strategic side of things as well. So obviously when you then move off the program and hopefully up through the ranks within BGL, it will put you in a positive light and a really good opportunity for you to implement some of that strategy that you've learned.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, so moving on to Tom. So Tom, what would you say has been your highlight or biggest achievement since being on the programme?
So for me, my biggest achievement so far on the grad programme has been from my first rotation when I worked in product, and I was given the project to restructure the motorbike insurance customer journey. So the project itself required a lot of collaboration with teams within Compare the Market, as well as the actual motorbike insurers, to make sure that they could still generate a quote for customers when the new journey went live. It's my biggest achievement because I had to work with multiple stakeholders from inside BGL, inside Compare the Market, and outside BGL as well. And to be a grad with so much responsibility as well, it gave me a lot of experience that I wouldn't have got elsewhere. And it also taught me a lot about myself, what I was good at, what I wasn't so good at, and gave me a lot of learnings going forward into my future rotations alongside that. So that's why it's my biggest achievement and my highlight as well, and the fact that it's also on the website, so I can also point to it and say, oh yeah, I did that. So a little bit of show off there, but that's why it's my best achievement.
Great, thank you. And then finally, moving on to yourself, Sarah MacArthur. So you completed the graduate programme last year. Could you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to following on from the completion of the programme?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so I completed the graduate programme in September. So yeah, no, I'm now in the UX research team as a junior UX researcher, and it's gone really quick, and I've been involved in some really exciting projects, one of which is a new proposition that we're working on, and I've been working with designers and across like product, tech, across areas like you've all mentioned, collaboratively on this new proposition that we're working on through design sprints, and have been like the main researcher on that project. And it's just been really good to kind of put everything I've learned from the last 2 years. So kind of like the variety of areas has really helped, although I've gone into like UX research, which is quite a probably specialist area. All the stuff I learned in product, all the stuff I learned in UX design have really helped kind of bring that all together and kind of made me probably better at my job in the long run. So yeah, it's kind of been able to bring all those skills together, but now working on some really exciting areas that will be going live hopefully in the next coming months. So it's been busy, but yeah, really rewarding so far.
Great, and it's really lovely to see you going from strength to strength and getting involved in bigger and better projects and more exciting projects as well.
Yeah, and there's lots coming up in the next few months as well, obviously with the new year. So yeah, I'm really excited. And like you all said, with the support and stuff like that doesn't stop as you come off the program. We still have a lot of support there with your managers, and still development as well there when you go into your new roles. So that won't just stop when you can come off this program. That just is part of the culture and it continues. So yeah, there's still lots of things that I'm working on and developing in as well.
Thank you for your insight there. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to the panel today. For contributing and to giving us an insight into the digital program here at BGL. If you're interested in finding out more information on our graduate programs and the opportunities we've got available, they can be found on our website, so bglgroup.co.uk. And if you're interested in finding out what our graduates have been up to, they have their own Instagram account, so please feel free to follow them on BGL Group Graduates Instagram account. But once again, thank you so much for my panel today. It was lovely catching up with you all, and stay safe, everyone. Bye.